We're live.
We are live, guys. Wow, we're back again.
Back again.
We got this. Welcome, everyone. Come on in. We are up for a great treat today. So, as you come in, everyone, please tell us where you're from, what you teach, and give us some hearts, thumbs up to tell us how you feel today. So, we're going to stay here for a little while until everyone gets on. And so, we just really want you to just come on in and tell us where you're from. We're happy today. We're all here and ready to chat with everyone. We had a really amazing time last time. I did anyways. I was in the background.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was sending virtual high fives, and this is my first time going live with everyone. I've been chatting in the community for a very long time, but you're in for a treat today, guys. So keep on coming on in. Okie dokie. How's everyone feeling today?
Good.
Good. We have some more people getting on now.
All right.
I'm seeing some thumbs up and some hearts.
Love it.
You know, emojis make me happy all the time. So you can give me as many as you want. Look, I can never get enough. Okay. It's a beautiful day outside.
Yeah, the weather kind of cooled down a little bit today, I felt like, after that windy day yesterday.
Yeah. I was like, really, what's going on here?
I know. I saw something about there's some snowstorm headed to like the northeast this weekend.
You say snow?
And I was like, yes, snow.
I saw that as well. Like, wow. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. Also, too, as you're coming in and you are telling us where you're from and you're telling us how you feel, we also have a poll that is in our discussion area that is just, we want to know what video conference platform you are fond of. So you can always go and respond to that. So thank you for doing that in advance and just hop back on here for that. We just want to tally that up and see who likes what. And I think the last time I checked, Zoom is definitely winning. So I see someone from Louisiana. Good afternoon. Okay. Well, we're in Atlanta. So we're coming from there. We have Sabrina's on. Hello. I feel like my friends are coming into the room. Like I feel like I party all through the week with them. Look, all Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, celebrating new members. And today is the icing on the cake. So really excited. You guys are in for a treat. And we'll be starting in a little bit, 4:05. So right now it's 4:03. And then we'll start introductions in a moment, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm starting to see some familiar, hey Jasper, familiar faces here on the chat.
Maryland as well too. Welcome. Thank you for coming in.
I know, from a lot of different places all over.
I know, absolutely. Also too, as you guys come in, you know, we're gonna, you know, open it up and show you different things like the agenda and such, but you should know that we have our teammates in the audience and they're going to be helping us with comments. So we won't necessarily be able to see and reply to your comments and talk at the same time, but please know that our teammates are out there and I'm going to introduce them in a moment. We see Jasper's out there, Taylor, she's out there as well too, so she'll be responding. She's from Kennesaw, so your shout out. Corey, we have Derek that's going to be hopping on to help with comments. So all throughout the live, you can ask as many questions that you want, and someone will reply to you. Okay, and we're going to have a question and answer at the end. So just so you guys know. So now it is 4:05. So we're going to go ahead and try to make sure we have all the things that we need to do. So quick introduction, you guys are in for a treat. So last week we had some Drew teachers, Cox Campus teachers on, and this week we have some more in this series that are going to enlighten us and share with us all the great things they've been doing. So we want them to go ahead and introduce themselves, and I'll introduce myself last. Who wants to go first, ladies?
I can. Hello, everyone. My name is Nanette Melton, and I am from Memphis, Tennessee, home of the barbecue, the blues, and of course, Elvis. I have been teaching for 25 years, and the last 10 years have been in pre-K at Drew Charter School. I have taught kindergarten and first grade as well. And I just want you to know that I'm very excited to be here to share some information that will best support you guys.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I will go next.
Great.
I am Ashley Buchanan. I grew up in Sharpsburg, Georgia, which is just a little south of Atlanta. And this is my 6th year teaching, I believe. And I've been at Drew for 4 of those. So I taught kindergarten for 1 year at Drew, and then I'm finishing up my 3rd year in pre-K. So I'm also really excited to be here with you guys today.
All right. Hello, everyone. You might have recognized me from last week, but my name is Brittany Swan. I'm originally from San Jose, California, representing the West Coast, but I have been on the East Coast, or really the South, for quite some time now, since I'm not going to give you all that information. Anyways, show my age. I've been teaching for 14 years, and I've been at Drew Charter School for 11 years. I've also taught first grade and 2nd grade, and this is my 3rd year. Yes, 3rd year in pre-K. So, and I love it.
Well, we're glad that you guys are all here. My name is Shantae Lyons, and I will be your moderator for today, your host. I am a part of the Cox Campus family in Rollins, so all my family out there, hello. So really excited to interact with you. So we're going to go ahead and get started with an icebreaker. So this is the time where you just get up all your energy and just bring in the most. So we're going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see the icebreaker. All right. So our icebreaker for today, everyone, is what is your favorite quarantine activity? So think about that a little bit. We are, social distancing, and you probably have some good activities that you've come accustomed to. So get a chance, go ahead and drop your favorite quarantine activity. And then if you like any of these activities that you see anyone drop, like them. Give them thumbs up. We want to make sure we're giving everyone love here tonight. Hello. Someone put planting. That's pretty cool. I've started something like that. I'm not too good at it, but I'm going to be pretty good in a little bit. Zumba. You guys see cooking and reading? Okay, you guys are doing it. Drawing.
Yeah. Zooming. I've been doing a lot of Zooming.
We've been doing a lot of Zooming. You're right. You're absolutely right. A lot of Zooming.
Video.
Walking around looking at the flowers. I have also been doing a lot of walking, just getting outside.
Right.
I like the one that says I spy Zoom, because I definitely have been on like some of my Zoom calls and I'm like, oh, can I see part of their house or what's in the background?
Yeah, sitting on my patio, fantastic baking.
Training for my first 4 marathon.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That is pretty awesome.
Okay.
A lot of cooking here. Trying new things. I want to try new things though, but I don't feel like going to the grocery store to get all the ingredients I need sometimes. So I'm like, yeah, maybe after the quarantine's over, I'll try this new recipe.
Right.
I need food that I know is going to be good.
Wow. Antagonizing my husband. Oh my goodness. Hanging out with my teenagers. You guys have some pretty good activities to do.
I know, they're giving me some ideas of things I can be doing.
Same.
That's for sure. All right. You guys can continue to go ahead and drop any activity that you like. And we're going to go ahead and transition to the next thing, which will be sharing the agenda. All right, so you can see our agenda for today. We've already done our welcome, our introductions, our icebreaker. You're up for a really great treat today. We're going to do some reviewing some activities. Brittany will do that. Then Ashley's going to come in and show you some small group activities and an e-learning connection. Miss Nanette, she is going to share with us some alphabet knowledge, and that's our main focus for today. Then we're going to close with some questions and answers. So you'll get a chance to just ask them any question you want. And that will conclude our live for today. So I'm super excited to get started. And I hope you guys are too. Okie dokie. I hope everyone has just some questions in their back pocket. I forgot one slide I do want to share with you guys. I do apologize. You probably are thinking out there in the audience, you know, what am I supposed to do? So you know what, we have something for you as well too. So what we want you to do in the audience is have fun, interact, share emojis, you know, type your questions and your comments, and someone will respond. Again, our teammates are in the audience and they will respond to you, and they are Taylor, Corey, Mary, Jasper, Nicole, and a few others. I know I mentioned, I believe, Derek as well too. So look out for them because they can reply to your questions. And then we will, or the guest will, they would answer those questions at the end. So we'll have a live like question and answer session at the very end. So that is that. And now we can begin, you guys. Let me go ahead and get that out of the way. Okie doke. Where can we begin?
Well, I think I will get started. So again, my name is Brittany Swan. I teach pre-K here in Atlanta at Drew Charter School. And so last week we talked a little bit about our PAC lessons. And so there's a P, there's an A, and there's a C. So last week we focused on the P in PAC, which is phonological awareness. And so that's really focusing on taking a look, well, not taking a look, but just listening to the sounds that we hear in the words. We start with phonological awareness, which is those big chunks where we're talking about syllables and onset and rhyme, where you're just really taking those sounds in chunks. And then we move to phonemic awareness, which allows the students to really start to break down the words a little bit more, hearing each sound. So we talk about the beginning sound, then we move to ending sounds, then we move to blending and segmenting sounds. So last week I showed you guys a short little video that I created at home for our students during this e-learning time. And we talked about blending sounds. And so this week I'm going to share with you guys a video for segmenting sounds. So I'm not going to show the whole video because it is a little bit longer than the one that I showed you all last week, but I do have two little parts that I'm going to show that just give you different strategies that you guys could use at home or when you return back to the classroom. So I'm going to share my screen now. And let's see here. Let's see. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. So I'm going to get it to the right spot here. Here we go.
So what you will need is a piece of paper where I drew 1, 2, 3 squares because all of the words we're going to be doing only have 3 sounds in them. Then you need some objects you could put in those squares. I have these lovely dinosaurs that I found at home, but you could use whatever you want when you're at your house. And then I have my list of words. I have pictures, you could use pictures, or your parents can just give you a list of words for you to practice with. So my first picture is a picture of a tub. Now, when I hear the word tub, the first sound I hear is the t sound. So for that first sound, I'm going to put this first dinosaur in the first box for t. Now, that's the first sound. My next sound is t, uh, t, so for that sound, I'm going to put my second dinosaur in the box. Now I have t, b, That last sound I hear is the B sound. I'm going to put my last dinosaur in the box. So now I have T, B, tub. Those are all the sounds I hear in the word tub. Let's try another one.
So now I'm going to fast forward a little bit and show you guys another strategy, still focusing on segmenting sounds, but a little more interactive for the students so they could get moving a little bit here.
All right, the last word I have is the word fan. Break down each sound of the word with me. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Ah, Again, I noticed that the word fan has 3 sounds. So this time I'm going to go through my 3 boxes, but this time I'm going to leap just like a frog. Here we go. Do it with me. I have ah, Now let's put it together a little bit faster. Here we go. Ah, When I put those sounds together, I hear the word fan. You guys did an awesome job today. Now you get to practice at home with your family.
So that is, I'll stop sharing there. Some activities that you could do at home, still working on the same skill for segmenting, making sure they break down each of those sounds that they hear in each word. And you might have seen from last week, someone asked last week why I was using my body. So that's also the sound stretching, just so they could really focus on hearing each of those individual sounds. So it's just giving different ways, and really you just do what's best for that child in your household or in your classroom. And so it gives them some options there to work with. So I think Ashley's going to actually show how she has used this lesson with her kids in small group during this e-learning time.
All right, Ashley.
Yes.
And as you guys are, replying back, go ahead and ask your questions now, and someone will reply. And Ashley, as you share your screen, I'll get you set up.
Okie dokie. Yeah, like Brittany said, we have been just trying different ways to keep our students engaged during this time. And so we've started having a small group with them once a week. And so we've been trying to focus on the skill of segmenting the sounds. And so I'm going to share a video of, I kind of have cut it up just for time's sake, so you won't see all of it, but we do this exact thing, and we do some on the body, do some on our arm, and then we do some where we're jumping. So just showing that there's a lot of different ways you can do this. So let me share my screen, and I will show you the video. Okie dokie.
Okay, are you guys ready to do something with me? Okay, we are going to stretch some words. Okay, I'm going to turn my computer because we need some space. So you might need a little space for this.
Oh, okay. Perfect. We have space.
Because we're going to kind of move our bodies around a little bit. Okay, so I have some items. We are going to hop. You can hop. You can stretch it on your body, or you can stretch it on your arm. Okay? So let's do one together. Let's do box. Can we stretch the word box together? Box. Okay, now can we hop box? So we're just going to jump for each sound. Are you ready? Box. Okay, last one. Let's do it on our arm. Let's do another one. Are you guys ready? I'm going to show you the item, okay? We're going to stretch this. What is this? A hat. Can we stretch it all together? Ah. Okay, who thinks they can do it on their own, all by themselves? Okay, let's see it, Blake. Can you say each sound with me? Oh, where is that? Hat. Nice job. Are you ready? Thumbs up. All right, Jalen, are you ready? You're going to like this one. What is this?
A ball.
A ball. Can we stretch ball?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my goodness, Blake. Okay, let's do it all together. That was amazing. Oh. Okay, Jalen, do you think you can do it all by yourself? Jalen, do you think you can do it?
Yes.
I think you can do. Okay, show us. Oh my goodness, you said all those sounds together. Okay, ready to jump? We're gonna jump for ball. Ball. Nice job. Okay, I have a few more. Are we ready?
Yes, I love it.
You love it?
Yes.
Okay, I have this. What is this?
Cup.
A cup. Okay, does someone want to try it all by themselves first?
I will try.
Woo! Julia, try it for us. Okay, Julia, that was amazing. Okay, okay, are we ready to jump?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Cup. Nice. Okay, one last one. Are we ready?
Yeah.
What is this?
A candy.
Kind of.
No.
This is the kind of candy that you chew.
It's a gum.
It's gum. Gum. Joshua, do you want to stretch gum?
Yeah.
Okay, let's let Joshua do it, you guys.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, can you do it again, Joshua? Oh my goodness, the way you touched your head and then you went down, that was amazing. Who else thinks they can do gum?
Me.
Okay, let's see it, Miles.
My elbow.
Come.
Oh my goodness, Miles, have you guys been practicing this at home?
No.
You guys are so good.
I haven't practiced any of this stuff.
Well, you're tricking me because you're so good at it. Okay, Julia, it's your turn. Whichever way you want to do it, you can stretch on your body, your arm, or jump.
How do you want to do it?
Wait, what is it?
Which one?
Oh,
Jump, yeah.
I got it.
Oh my goodness, how many times did you jump, Julia? 3, because there's 3 sounds in the word jump. All right, Blake, it's your turn. Nice job. How many times did you touch your body, Blake?
3 times.
Why did you touch it 3 times?
Because there's always 3.
There's 3 sounds. You're absolutely right.
Wow. That was so amazing. Ashley, I'm not going to let you go. Got to ask you a question.
Yeah, anything.
We have seen a lot of yummy stuff, some really great things out there. That was a really great interactive activity. Tell me, how did you feel, doing this activity on a Zoom platform? Or what platform?
It was on Zoom. Yeah, we use Zoom. And it was a lot of fun for me too. And so like I said, we've been trying different things to try to keep the learning going for our students. And so I had emailed the parents and just said, these are some items we will need for your student to have when we meet. And so, and really for that lesson, it was things that I got together. So I got the items that we were going to be stretching, but the kids just really enjoyed it and they did so well with it. And we always focus on the I do, where the teacher does it, the we do, where we do it together. and then the you do, which is where you saw them doing it independently. There wasn't a lot of I do because the students were familiar. We did that even when we were in class together, and so it was a lot of the we do, and then now you do it and show us how you can do it. And I was just so proud of them because they were really attentive, which you never really know what you might get on Zoom, but they did really, really good. So I was really proud of them.
I'm proud of them too. They did an amazing job, and I'm glad you brought up the 3-part teaching strategy. So for those of you that don't know or aren't familiar with our courses, the Foundations of Learning to Read, within PAC, we discussed the 3-part teaching strategy and how to execute these skills. So that was really great. And I mean, I noticed a lot more. You had visuals. I saw gum, and you were asking each one. So that was amazing. So bravo, my goodness. So you guys, if you have any questions for Ashley or Brittany, you go ahead and drop those questions and someone will answer. Now you're up for a treat. We're going to do another component of the PAC time, which is alphabet knowledge. And that's Miss Nanette. And you guys, I'm so excited for her to be here because I remember taking my own courses and I'm like, I know that teacher. And she's here today. So this is amazing. So I'm going to be quiet right now and let Nanette go ahead and take over.
Okay, hi again. Okay, so I am going to speak about alphabet knowledge. Now, alphabet knowledge is to identify and name the letters of the alphabet. So when many teachers begin to teach these letters, it is common for them to be uncertain about which letters to start with. We start with the letters in our students' names because those letters are more meaningful to our students. They are more motivated to learn the letters in their names and even in their friends' names than just a random letter. And so what we do, we start with the uppercase letters because the uppercase letters are easier to learn than the lowercase letters. And we do get to the lowercase letters, but that's later on. And so what we do, we start with the students pointing to the letters that we named. That's letter recognition. So we will have the students to first point to the first letter in his or her name, and then the rest of the letters in order and out of order. And this will allow the students to get familiar with the letters and learn the names of them. And so when we start teaching those letters that are outside of their names, we avoid the letter of the day and the letter of the week. And the reason why, because that's not really meaningful. We actually teach letters a few at a time. We actually group letters that have like a huge contrast, like the letter A and the letter C. The letter A has straight lines. The letter C has a curve. So when the students look at the two letters, they will be able to either recognize or identify those two letters and be able to see the difference and learn those letters much faster than those tricky letters we talk about, like the letter M and the letter N, because they have familiar features. And so what we do, we make sure that they recognizing these letters first by pointing, and then we switch it over where they are actually identifying those letters. We will ask, like, what is this letter? Or we'll point to that letter. And so what we do when we are teaching letters, we are teaching them intentionally because we want those letters to be meaningful for our students. And so with that said, I would like to share this video of alphabet knowledge activity.
Guess what? I'm getting so good at identifying your letters. I was thinking maybe we should do it again today. It's called Guess It. Now, let me explain how to play it. First, I would take these letters and place them inside my bag. The letter T, the letter O, and the letter X. Next, I would place my hand inside the bag and select one letter. Then I will peek inside the bag to see the letter that I have chosen and describe it to you. Now, I may use words like vertical, which means going down, horizontal, which means across, diagonal, which means down and across, and curve, which is a line that is rounded. It is so important that you listen very carefully as I'm describing these letters to you. You need to be able to visualize them, see them in your mind before you guess them. Are you ready? Here's our first letter. This letter has a long vertical line with a short horizontal line sitting on top of it. Let me describe it again. This letter has a long vertical line with a short horizontal line sitting on top of it. Do you know this letter? I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. If you said the letter T, you are correct. The letter T has a long vertical line with a short horizontal line on top of it. Very good. Are you ready for the next letter? Okay, this letter is one big curve. It is one big curve. Do you know this letter? I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. If you said the letter O, you are correct. The letter O is one big curve. Very good. This is a good one. This letter has two diagonal lines that cross each other. This letter has two diagonal lines that cross each other. Do you know this letter? I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. If you said the letter X, you are correct. The letter X has two diagonal lines that cross each other. Very good. This is the end of our game. You all did an awesome job, and I cannot wait to do more letters with you all. Bye.
And so you have noticed that I did use a lot of tier 2 words, but I did define them. And this is an activity that we, of course, just did recently. So the students were familiar with those words. And so there are so many other activities and strategies that you can use. Just go to Cox Campus and you will be able to find so many more.
Oh my goodness, that activity really blew me away. I saw a lot of great things there too. So I just want to ask you, because I know that you were really intentional about your activity as well too. So a lot of people may have asked, is the 3-part teaching strategy embedded in that as well too, alphabet knowledge?
And yes, actually, when we are in class, there is a 3-part where I am actually doing, going over the letters, the description of them, and demonstrating. And then we do a few letters together, and then they do the I, the you do. And so with that, we actually can challenge them by having the students to place his or her hand inside the bag and just feel that letter and see if they can figure out what that letter is.
Yeah.
By the shape of it.
I loved it. I mean, I saw you describing those letters, and then I'm expecting you weren't waiting for an immediate response. So you embedded wait time in there.
Yes.
Oh, I saw all the great things. Like, that was pretty awesome. So if you guys are in the audience and you have some questions circling right now about alphabet knowledge, I think that we're going to have a great discussion. That was pretty amazing and very intentional. So I really liked just everything about that activity. So I think it's time, you guys, for us to just kind of see what's going on and kind of transition to some other things. But you know what I'm thinking? Some activities or some resources that kind of connect to alphabet knowledge as well. We do have in our resource center on Cox Campus. So we have a a PAC teaching aid that you can access on Cox Campus, as well as some alphabet knowledge activities. Those were great. So if you're thinking about more ideas on how to incorporate this strategy in your classroom, you can just go to our website and access those things, because there's a lot there. That was pretty amazing. So we're going to go ahead and transition to the next part. I'm going to share my screen in one moment. So it's just question and answers. I thought I was going to ask questions and answers. It didn't show up. So we do have a couple questions here. And so I want anyone that feels like they want to go ahead and pick up this question. We have a question from someone in the audience. Her name is Pamela, and she says, we are adding short snack and recess time on Zoom for our kids to have more time to socialize with each other, not just listen to the teacher. Anyone doing a social piece that works well? So that's our first question. Who would like to?
I know for our class, I think each pre-K class at Drew might be doing something a little different, but in my classroom, we do our small groups on one day, and then on Thursdays, we do a show and tell. So that's kind of where the kids get to choose anything at their house. Sometimes there's themes, like we were doing Things That Grow as a unit, and so they brought a baby picture and could share that. But then it's just the kids, they get to talk. And we also have the breakout room feature, so they're in smaller groups. So again, the wait time is a lot less for them. And so they're able to share. And then once we finish, they can kind of talk about what they shared, or even just have conversations amongst themselves without it being so teacher guided. So that's what we're doing in my class.
Does anyone?
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, we also do a show and tell, but we just want to make sure, like, every time we get on a Zoom call, we allow the students to have an opportunity just to share something. So we kind of, when we first get on the call, check in with everyone and say, oh, hey, Ashley's on the call. Let's check in with Ashley, see how she's doing. Do you want to tell us what you've been doing this week? So we do ask, a few questions just so they have time. And then it also makes them feel special because they got to talk on the Zoom call. You don't want them to get on and then just they're sitting there the whole time and just they're on mute the entire time. So it allows them to kind of get a chance to talk, and that makes them feel good too. So
yeah, you're right. Oh my goodness. No, I love that. I hope that answered your question, Ms. Pamela. We do have some other questions too.
One more thing that I just remembered that we do. So on our small group day, at the end, we also do a music and movement together. So one of the songs we would do in class, we just do on Zoom together. I mean, it's not really a social piece, but it just feels like we're doing something together that's not, again, sitting and listening to the teacher. So that's something else that we do.
And the thing about it too, the beauty about our strategy is that the talk strategy, the talk strategy is embedded in everything. So it's always an opportunity to kind of, lift someone's language when you're interacting with them, on Zoom too. So you guys, we're going to go on to the next question. Thank you for sharing, ladies. We have a question from Christian, and she asked, how are you doing sessions every day? Are you doing sessions every day? And how long does a small group last?
For us, we do sessions, we do them twice a week. So we do it on Wednesday and on Thursday. And then they usually we start around 3:00, and they usually are no longer than, I would say between 30 or 40 minutes long. If we've done a small group activity, those are very short, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I know Ashley's done more small groups than I have, so she could probably speak more on that. But yeah, our sessions are generally around 30 to 40 minutes as the entire call goes.
Yeah, that's about the same for us too. And we also do on Wednesday and Thursdays, and we do ours in the morning. We kind of polled our parents and said, hey, what's a good time? Because we want to be respectful of their time as well, because a lot of them are also working. And they last about 30 minutes. And then it's so funny at the end, a lot of the students were like, okay, bye, see you next time. And sometimes they just kind of linger. And there was a day last week I actually didn't have any meetings later, so I just stayed on with one of the little girls and we just chatted for a while. But as a rule, they're usually about 30 minutes. And the small groups, again, like Brittany said, last no more than 10 minutes, just because it's just difficult for them to stay focused, and we want it to be meaningful for them. So.
Yeah. So I hope that answered your question. We do have a few other questions. We have a question that says, from Ms. Tiffany, how do you encourage more responses / communication from families? So they want some pointers. She wants some pointers. How do you encourage responses and more communication from families? Anyone?
I know in my class we have, and I think across all of the classes, we have reached out in a lot of various different ways with parents so that we're kind of staying engaged. Like I know we've made phone calls and we are emailing and, following up and sending like personal emails, and we've written letters to students. And so just doing those kind of things so we're still staying engaged with them. I don't know if y'all are doing, yeah.
Yeah, we are doing something very similar, but I think also how you word things when you do communicate with the parents. So it's almost the end of the school year, and I know a lot of people are starting to feel like they're completely over this e-learning thing, some of the parents. So I just made sure that this week I was like, we have a few more memories that we want to create with your kids. So we can't wait to see them this week on the Zoom call, and we just let them know, like, we miss them. Please send pictures and videos or whatever you may have of whatever your kid's doing. Even if it's not one of the lessons we're doing, we just miss them. We would love to see them. And it's so crazy. You get these pictures and you're like, oh my goodness, so-and-so's grown so much. Like it's crazy. Like you haven't seen them for a few weeks and so much has changed. So just really making it personal and checking in with them. A lot of parents have shared some of the struggles that they've been going through, and just allowing them to know, like, we are here for you and we're praying for you, whatever it may be. Just knowing that we are there to support them. So I think really just taking the time and having that personal time, one-on-one conversations with them really is helpful.
Did either of you have a specific or particular platform that you use to communicate, like email, text messages, or just to keep that connection going? And if not, I do have my experience as a parent. I can share my experience from a parent perspective. I know that my son's teacher used Remind, and I get like a little text message. So that's a way that as a parent, my son's teacher has been connecting to us, and that's been really, really helpful as well too. So thank you guys for sharing.
In my classroom, we use Blooms a lot because it allows us we can post and keep announcements up there for as long as we want. And it's kind of like a Facebook feed. You could post pictures. We have our calendar up there, and it's a calendar that everyone can see. And then we also have instant messaging. So if I just want to send a message to a specific parent, I'm able to do that. And I can also add the other teachers in the classrooms to that instant message or direct message. And so that's been really helpful for us.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Also, too, we do have probably like 2 more questions. Another question that we have here, let me see here. It says, when teaching students letters in their names, do you teach one-on-one, so each student is learning different letters at different times? So that's a really good question. So that was Maria. She asked that question, and I can repeat it one more time. When teaching students letters in their names, do you teach one-on-one, so each student is learning different letters at different times?
I'll go. Okay. I was like, I don't know if Ashley was going to answer that. So we do an assessment at the beginning of the year that we kind of check in with the students throughout the year. We use the really great reading assessment at Drew Charter School, and that allows us to see what letters that the students are already familiar with. So that is a one-on-one assessment that we do with the students, but we still do have whole group lessons that we do alphabet knowledge with. And so it allows us to that's when we use the vocabulary of the, a long diagonal line or vertical or horizontal lines, and we talk about the curves and things like that to describe the letters. So that would be more so of a whole group. If we notice that there are students who are still struggling with a lot of the letters that we have gone over previously, then we do kind of, do short little pull-out sessions with them to work on some of those letters. We might have charts and things like that. So other resources that could be helpful with those students who may be struggling. But we do whole group alphabet knowledge activities. We don't, and then sometimes even within our small groups, we have some small group activities that also will, allow them to practice what they've learned in those lessons.
Yeah,
Okay.
one of the small groups that comes to mind with names is we did towards the beginning of the year where the students look at a Venn diagram. And so we obviously introduced the Venn diagram and they kind of are partner working. And so they look at the letters in their name and the ones that they have in common, they put in the middle. So it's kind of a way to bring in a little bit of math and literacy together because we're talking about same and different and comparison, like what looks alike, what has straight lines. So yeah.
And it's funny when they see the letters in their name, they're like, that's my name. They see that one first letter and they're like, that's my name. So, the more they keep seeing those letters and they're so familiar with seeing their name, and they're getting that practice is really helpful for them. So, especially at the beginning of the year.
Absolutely. All right. And so we do have another question. Let's see, where did it go here? The question came from, I believe, Ashley and Corinza. Says, can you tell me more about how you do the breakout sessions? So I'm thinking they might be talking about Zoom or maybe even in the classroom.
Yeah. So on Zoom, there's the feature. It's at the bottom toolbar and it says breakout rooms. And so, and there's a choice to do it automatically where it automatically sends people to whichever room or manually. And so I always do it manually so I can ensure that there's a teacher in each room. And then I can just click and assign students that way. Yeah, and it does work really, really well for students because the wait time is really the big one where everyone still is having their voice heard without having to wait quite as long.
Nice.
And there's just one thing I did want to add about the letters. I know we talked about a lot of how we use like the words to describe the letters, but we also do have like concrete materials that the students can put their hands on to manipulate and make those letters. So we have like some of the wooden sticks that are the straight lines and the curves. We also use some of the wiki sticks they're kind of feel like plastic, and so you can manipulate them into any shape that you want. But then we also move on to like, using chalkboards and different things once they move into focusing on writing some of those letters. So we also use, different manipulatives as well for that alphabet knowledge.
Yeah, definitely multisensory. They love those tactile things and cues, and altogether it's the perfect plan. Thank you for sharing. I was looking at the time and we actually do have a little bit more time. And this question that I think would be pretty cool to ask, and everybody wants to know, what are you doing to prepare for next year? Have you started thinking about next year already, lady? I'll give you some time to think about that.
I think right now we're just we're thinking about it, but we don't have any concrete plans just because there are no concrete plans currently. So we're thinking through and preparing, but nothing has been concretely decided. I don't know if Brittany has a better answer, but
it really is a play it by ear situation. I think we definitely have been trying different things with our students who, were already familiar with us. So we're like, okay, let's try these breakout rooms and see if small group is even a possibility to do with, 4 and 5-year-olds. But, starting the year off like that is a whole nother ball game. So we are definitely, thinking about it. We're not sure what it's going to look like. And I think a lot of it is going to be a lot of trial and error if we do have to start the beginning of the year online. But we are definitely, thinking about next year. I think all teachers are. I think that's what we initially do anyway. We're just programmed that way, but we just don't know what it's going to look like.
Well, that was a good question. And I do have another one that popped up, which you might like. This question says, this is from Kara, and she says, do you have fun ideas about end of the year parties on Zoom. So you're thinking about Zoom parties? You know, we like to party as educators.
We
Yeah.
are thinking of some end of the year well, I don't know, I guess you could call it a party. So we usually have a pre-K picnic. That's the way that us true pre-K teachers celebrate the end of the year with our classes. And so we are going to do it virtually. So, families can decide that they want to do it in their backyard or just in the living room. I live in a loft, so I'll probably do mine in the living room, but everyone will have food and things like that, and we'll socialize. I think we'll do a slideshow to kind of show some of the memories from throughout the year. I know for my classroom, we've also decided we want to give the kids something. So we're coming up with like a little package of things that we could deliver to each of them, just to show how much we love and miss them and care for them. And we're also doing a pre-K parade, so that should be fun. That's something that we're planning on doing actually tomorrow. So we might have some feedback on that. If anyone else is interested in doing that for their kids, we might be able to give you guys some feedback on things you should and shouldn't do for a pre-K parade. But
that's great. Do you have any ideas, Ashley, that you're thinking about?
We're doing the same thing, kind of things. Just we're doing a little video slideshow montage from the year, and then we're going to do the picnic, of course, and the parade. And we've talked, if for whatever reason maybe something changes and we can get to, like, we've talked about maybe if things are better in the summer, we get together somewhere, all of us together. But obviously that's a much later decision that we'll make. But celebrate somehow.
Dance parties work any way you choose. Like you do it Zoom, everything dance at home too.
Yeah.
Great ideas, guys. One thing that popped in my head is that my kids' teacher said, "Hey, we're going to do like a drive-by end of the year parade." And I'm like, "So we're going to drive by and just wave?" I got you. I can do that. Look, I can do that.
Yeah, we're thinking we created like a pre-K parade route. So we kind of looked at all of the addresses and looked at, the main streets that we could go on. And so if the families live on that street, they could just come out to their front yard. If they don't live in that area, then they can just drive and park along our parade route, and we'll be driving through and waving to all of our pre-K families. So,
You guys have all the ideas. I appreciate you so much for coming on, and I know that everyone that signed on appreciates it too. So we're going to send some virtual hugs, and thank you for coming back. And also, too, if anyone else wants to come back on and visit us next week, we'll be here Thursday at 4 with some more Drew teachers sharing their ideas and their experiences with implementing strategies from on the Cox campus. And so this has been amazing. And guys, I wish you the best. I'm so excited to be here and to say hey to everyone. We probably are going to end the broadcast a little bit early, but please feel free to look at the replay and ask questions. Hopefully we'll be able to share out the video on our Cox Campus Community Board. So if you're not a part of our platform yet, now's the time to go ahead and do it. It's free. And so continue our conversation on the platform there. So check out those resources and also we will be posting links for resources in the discussion area. So you won't have to go searching in our resource center. Those links will be provided for you. And thank you and enjoy your Thursday. It's beautiful out there. Until next time, this is Shantae and Drew Teachers. We're about to sign off. Have a good day. Bye, you guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.